Welcome everyone to another 82L Iconic Moments. Today we're covering one of the greatest grand finals ever played, a full best of 5 reverse sweep, and how it all went down.
They won game one pretty handedly. It was a support Mars, which Flupper does pretty often.
Bot lane matchup. We got a Mars 5. This one, a little bit of a Flupper specialty, actually. I've seen it before in seasons past.
Yeah, so I think their plan was like, we're either going to 5-pick the Brew or the Mars.
Throughout the series, right? Like in the regular season, we played them. The other team that was kind of we thought was probably we were gonna end up facing in the grand finals was this team called Dark Horse. They didn't make it, of course. We decided that to kind of like ignore Herbie because we were like he's gonna have a good game no matter what we really do. So we just decided to shut down everybody, right? So we had this game plan and it worked really well. Coming into the grand finals, I think even after the first 2 games of the grand finals, I think our record in that season against them would have been 5-1. So we've beat them 5 straight times. We've lost 1 time only in a series. And honestly, yeah, I mean it's a crazy series because I don't actually like. The thing is, I don't think they actually outplayed us.
Keep yourself safe with their Flex Mars, and their strong second phase of Medusa Storm felt very comfortable in the draft, facing up against the emotional damage Sven. But what emotional damage did next, nobody saw coming.
The problem is that the difference between Lina and Dusa is that I think that wow,
I called it.
wow,
Sven probably being thrown
okay.
into a 4 or 5 roll, probably a 5 roll, probably nice.
A strong early game put emotional damage in a prime position to lead this game and take a 1-0 victory.
Shadow Shaman wards. Okay, call this balanced gameplay. Roll the DD rune, have Shadow Shaman win rush.
Have Shadow Shaman Sven.
Well, yeah, but the wards from Shadow Shaman do double damage to Roche than they used to. Like,
Fathom more.
Emotional damage was in a strong position going into the mid to late game, where they even took a single set of racks in the bot lane, but a series of bad team fights put them on the down and out.
I wonder. I imagine they're not going to necessarily commit wards, but just kind of like see what Kirabigon wants to do, and then from there
Nice
decide.
on the back side of that.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Yeah,
He's
they're
sitting in the
waiting.
Shadow Amulet, not greeting.
Yeah, look at the glyph. There comes the wards. They have to find the Sven in the duel, but instantly comes down from the Mystic Flare. But the con comes in from Chivalry. They'll take out 2 cores. And Fitz Chivalry goes back on a Fertile Laporte double kill. Great stun onto the mid and pos 1. They'll lose their barracks, but 2 cores down for emotional damage. Naya is on vision. Goes down over the board, trying to fight his way back in towards the Mars. Self-fuels this to try to stay alive. But he ends up getting speared up against the tree, and the Medusa ultimate will seal the deal. Herbie the Bird goes down, and at the behest of Silix as well. The triangle is being taken. TVN from Herbert the Bird, though. They're going to try to make something stick. They have to kill Kira. They have to kill everyone else as well. Here comes Fathomore. Tries to get back in, but instead gets dueled back up as well as broken. He goes down. Herbert the Bird getting dove on the backside of the fight by Fitz Chivalry as well. Picks up Naya. And now Kira pops the ultimate. Picks up the kill on to the Timber Saw. And now it's Winter for Just Desserts. He's already popped the God Strength, but so much CC. And KBG with a 4 for 0. GG not called yet, but it's only a matter of time. The only person left up alive is Fertile Laporte.
Yeah, once more by emotional damage there. I actually reconnected to see that fight, but again, trying to make something out of nothing on emotional damage. Going on the Legion Commander's anti-rage is not really something you want to do, so especially when you're 25k down. And I had to imagine emotional damage calls it here. Like, no shot they win this one from here, unfortunately.
Yeah, Fitz Chivalry picks up the team wipe. Just a formality. Not GGing out yet. They're going to stand strong and let KBG hit the Ancient. There's the GG. And KBG taking game number 1. Was very close for a minute there, but eventually you just have to break them one too many times.
This is a great anti-mage game too. They should have won this game too. I'm not gonna lie. If you look at like the graph on this game too, they should have won this game. This is one of those games. This is literally one of those games where you play and you're like, okay, we're clearly better, but we don't know how to execute this draft well enough for us to win. And Herbie played Timber, yeah, and if I remember, like Herbie's kind of like this Timber brew spammer, and yeah, like and especially this season, like he was very much this like Timber brew spammer, and I kind of remember them actually. I think they picked the Timber like early in one of the first 2 games, and it didn't work out. Like it didn't work out, but it was very clearly not Herbie's fault. They actually picked it twice. They picked it both the first 2 games that they lost, and it was so obvious that it wasn't Herbie's fault either game.
We lost the first game, right? I was like, whatever. Like I think Fathom played anti-mage or something. And he was doing really poorly, and his mental was already kind of shattered.
Going into game 2, Emotional Damage looked like a formidable team, just a few stumbles along the way in game 1. They needed to rebound and put on a better performance in game 2. And I'd say they did, but it just wasn't enough.
It survives through all of that magic damage.
Yeah, but you know what didn't survive? Bottom tower's already gone. Prior to 8 minutes, Herbie the Bird just took it. DK's tower mid had full health. Siege couldn't do anything to it. Herbie the Bird down bottom. I don't know what this man has in his little magic keyboard, but like that tower's not supposed to be dead by 8 minutes.
I mean, him and I have a standing agreement. I don't show his lane, and he just takes the tower. Not allowed to see it. As Kira!
Ooh, didn't get the dragon tail, but
he still dies from the tick.
It's like okay against DK and Herbie though, so.
Do they have enough dispels for it to be worth it? Like, does emotional damage put out enough like dots or blindness that you need to dispel?
I wonder if you can dispel. Okay, shrapnel cannot be dispelled, so there's not a whole lot. You can dispel a couple things from here, but not currently there.
Using Disruption a little early, K7 might have griefed himself. He's going to get one ultimate out, but Bit Chivalry is in, and so is the Epicenter. It's on to Winner. His Aegis is expiring in 10 seconds. He might just die. It's a good timing from him. But DK is so low. Fathomore is running. The kisses are coming out, trying to buy some time. Sand King low will eventually take down. Now Fathomore running and turning back in. They stun up onto Ember Spirit. And with the damage from Winter, it's there. The BKB. He's getting beat by 3. He's going to have to man and fight. I don't think it's quite going to happen. Fathomore and Naya need to get out of here, but I don't think that's going to be possible.
Like, yeah, Snap can get there, but it'll take a while. And Kira is on the
back
line.
With haste and smoke, they're going to be able to blow up somebody here. Flubber onto Frodo. Oh, he needs to get the Dark Portrait off. I don't think he got it in time. And he's just going to start cleaning through people. Winter dies. That's his Aegis of the Immortal popped already. Herbie, super low. He might just die too. He's out of there. And Sniper, just TP low. He's going to try to fight, but he's broke. He is without hope. I think he would have had time for a BKB. I mean, for a TP.
He could have, especially after the disarm, but...
You're going to start hearing the reflections. They actually might be able to kill. No, scratch that. Dimmersaw still barely holding on. He gets a lot of disruption and damage out. We'll see if Fathom and Winter can hold through. They're going to be able to take down some of the illusions, but now here comes Fitz. He's got BKB, will pop it as Terror is just going to work. Fathomore goes down. Now Winter, his BKB is fading. He's going to get stunned up, and he's going to get wrapped up real quick. Like, Fitz goes down first, though. It's actually Winter still holding on. He is eventually going to get cleaned up as Fitz's Embers going all over the place. The Remnants are doing too much, and it's just 3 cores left for emotional damage. Coming in, it's a lot of damage. The BKB's out there. Fathomore taking quite a lot of damage already. The split's happening. Now Ender Spear trying to move a little bit further here. He pops the Refresher already coming in, and he's hunting. He's chasing. Dragonite already gone. Winter's running. He's got a BKB if he really wants to use it, but the stuns are out there. And the no BKB on the rock toss. Both cores are down for 2 minutes. I think they're gonna get Herbie the Bird too.
It's gonna be a tough kill, but even if they don't get him, I mean, what's to stop?
Oh, silly. He's got the Echo. He'll lift himself up for a hot second here. Frodo's around. I think that is the death knell, however.
I think emotional damage put up a great fight. Just a couple fights at the wrong times.
Game 2 was closer. It was actually, I think, emo damage favored for a while, which, like, I remember watching this Brewmaster, and I remember literally thinking, like, maybe they shouldn't have let it through at all because Flupper can't play it as well as Herbie. and then they won anyway, and I was like, okay, maybe it's good enough. But then they ended up banning it instead of picking it ever again. So I think they acknowledged that like it's not good enough to keep picking and winning, even like if we let it through. This was also like I think Kira's humbling moment when Kira realized he wasn't that good of a carry. This is kind of I think everyone realized like emo damage was probably the better team. KYS just like had better drafting and knew exactly what they could get away with, and this was like the max that they could get away with kind of thing. In my opinion, emotional damage was the better team after game 2, even though they were down 2-0. It was one of those games where it was like, okay, we did everything we could, and we had kind of a bad draft, and we still almost won this game, and we should have won this game, right? It wasn't like, there was no chance we ever had. It was a lost draft. We lost the mid game. We lost the early game. No, they won the early game. They were doing really well. They had a great, like moderately okay draft. But it was one of those things where like you can't last pick. I think they found out like you can't just last pick Herbie's hero because Herbie can't do it by himself. Because what I remember is, I remember this IO pick didn't work out at all. I think it was a pause 5 Enigma. Because once they like acknowledged that in the draft, I don't know. I feel like their drafting got like way easier once they started first phasing Herbie's hero again. They were like, he's gonna win no matter what. Let's give Fathom a hero he can play behind, and they started doing that. They did the puck in game 4. They did the Ember in game 2, and even like the Winter Sven. I think farmed a shit ton in game 2 or 3 rather. But it was like one of those things like you just literally first phase Herbie's Timbersaw and you said like go fuck, and he never stopped the fucking. Herbie just fucking shredded game 3. Where again Herbie's like trying to get momentum, right? Because they're down 2-0. Like any win is a good win. So game 3 is like the most important because obviously you win or go home.
Then second game we lost again. All right, and then so when you're down 2-0, your mental is like actually done. Like I remember the VC was silent. Like I don't think anyone was tilted, but it was just like everyone was scared, and everyone was thinking, yeah, we're probably gonna lose 3-0 like we did or we're not gonna get a game off of them like we did in upper bracket. And everyone was thinking that, but no one wanted to say it, so it was just dead silent. And I was trying to like lighten the mood. I was like, yo, don't worry guys, we're gonna go on our turn or something like that. But I remember the atmosphere being like extremely dead. Like it was grim. And then we went into the game, and I told Naya I played Timbersaw both games, the first 2 games, and I said to Naya like I don't know if I want to play Timber, man. Like it hasn't worked out for the first 2 games. And he's like, no, I'll pick it for you. I was like, okay. And then we just played like normal. I don't remember what was different about that game actually. I think it was just a really free Timber game. And then yeah, it was just a free Timber game, I think. And then I went like 20-0 or something. And I remember Kira, their series, they were on like a 8 win streak, and someone said that if someone were to break that win streak, it would break them or something. I remember that. That sounds familiar.
So we last picked an off meta hero, but that our mid player, it's one of his most played heroes, like actually his most played hero. But he hadn't played it in so long, and it just drafting just fell off. I don't know, because it's like hindsight. Because I went back and watched that replay, and honestly, I think we still would have won that game. But what ended up happening is we bought out a Satanic on our Luna, and then he got black holed in the face, and the IO relocate save didn't come back in time because we were winning every single fight before that. And yeah, and we just lost the game because we had no buyback. I can tell you where the turning point was in game itself was there's a fight on the high ground in that game 3. I don't know if we were down on racks or whatnot, but at one point our Luna was the top net worth of the game. Like ridiculous. This came all the way back. We're having a terrible game. I think we were down 10k, and in that entire series we've been down these like in that entire season we'd been down 10k before. It doesn't matter. We know how to play to make a comeback. We just fought better and played fights, I think, better than any team in that tournament at that time. And I'm not like exaggerating or trying to like pat myself on the back. I just think it was like we came back in so many games that should not have been a thing. And we were doing it again. We were playing on the team fight of RP. We had a mag empower to empower the Luna. We were just able to take these fights with a super steroid core and just control everybody. And we bought out an item, and we got black hole in the face, and our relocate on the IO save didn't come through, and so we lose that game.
They've got a minute left on Aegis. I mean, all right, if I know Winter and the way he's been playing, he's gonna go for it, as we see here.
He's going for it on the Monkey King. Silk brings it back onto the high ground with the RP. Most of the damage here. Kira pops the ultimate. Monkey King with the Wukong's command as well. Fathomorg knocked out of the fight.
Oh,
they do
boy.
not have safe from the Sven, who's still stuck in Wukong's command. Pops BKB and God's Strength. Now on a Fit Chivalry we go with Herbie the Bird, stunned up by the Luna, but the Fisher comes back in on it too.
The black hole.
Black hole on top of the Earthshaker ulti is enough to pick up 2 cores. They're on to the final T3 of the game. Megas to emotional damage. And you gotta think, we actually are going to a game 4. Luna, shot lands, Cox on a 3. Blink Horn Toss, Abduction does not pull them into the fountain. And Hurry the Bird goes beyond godlike. They're on to the final T4. Now Silix goes down, no buybacks available. 10 seconds on the Monkey King. And Angry Sun, GG is called. We're going to game 4, emotional damage. Come back in the series.
After the second game, the atmosphere was just like, silent. But after the third game when we won, everyone was talking, everyone was happy. And so like after we won this third game, I was like, yeah, okay, it's a best of 5. We still have a chance. We've beaten them before, not in the upper bracket, but like earlier in the season, like group stage. I actually can't remember that much, but I'm pretty sure we were all like pretty happy, like pretty ready to like win the 4th game or win the next game. But yeah, as soon as we won that game, I kind of had it in my head that like, yeah, okay, we can definitely win this series actually if we don't play like animals. Yeah, I think not just because we won that was a turning point, but like our mentality completely shifted. Like first win is always the hardest, right? I liked our draft like way better than theirs. Like we had Nyan Enigma, that's one of his best heroes, and they had ways to deal. They had like Monkey King, but yeah, I think it was just I don't remember like in the game thinking that much differently to like the other games. Like of course I was tryharding a little bit more, like more than I already was, because it's like this is our knockout game. But I don't remember like anything significant. Maybe the other guys, but not me personally. I was just playing my heart out like the first 2 games.
We did not think Fathomorg could carry the game. We thought they lived and died by Herbie carrying them. So we decided we would just shut down Winter and Fathomorg all game long, and we let Herbie do whatever he wants. And we started out strong, and then like I said, we broke ourselves, and then the other 2 started pulling their own weight in the rest of that series. So yeah. And I think if you go look at the games they lose, it's when Herbie is not able to single-handedly carry a game by himself, like go 20-0 on a Timbersaw. But he'd been doing that the other 2 games, and it didn't matter. But yeah, finally got to us. We had a very I wouldn't even say a discussion. It was more of a one-sided argument about it and the last pick mid Monkey King. But we just said some stupid shit. I remember. You can quote me on this because I remember exactly what I said. Somewhere down the line, like we were just starting to flame each other, talking, saying stupid things that don't need to be said in a series where you just need to be focused. And I think I said, I take no responsibility for this loss. And like looking back on that is such a stupid thing to say in the middle of a grand finals. And it's just because I don't know, the tilt got to us because in that grand finals, if you went back and watched every game, we lost our safe lane tower and we lost our safe lane itself hard every single game, 5 games in a row. 8 minutes and the tower is gone. Doesn't matter what hero we played. And I think the pressure of that was starting to get to our carry player first. And then because he's having a bad game, I like the off lane, he moves over there to get something, do something, and you start feeling the pressure everywhere, and then everybody starts getting on each other because people start talking and stuff. So I think it's just crazy because everybody just kind of fell apart like at the seams. It wasn't anything like gameplay wise. I think just honestly the mental state. We lost the mental battle in that grand finals. I think what happened because Dota's a mental game. Game 3, the comms just fell apart. We made some mispicks, said some things, and I think everybody by game 4, their mental states were just in a spot where like we just weren't even playing. I'd have to take a look at game 4. Game 4 is a blur to me. I don't even. I think that's the Naga game, is it not? I'm pretty sure that's the Naga game. I just think Fathomore played amazing in those last 2 games as well. I think Herbie did his like Herbie played crazy this entire like grand finals. And after game 3, after what he did there, like I mean I still think that's probably one of the best performances on a Timber I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, 20-0-13. Somehow he just got these other guys to just have their best performances of the entire season, I think, in the next 2 games. So yeah. We've never drafted like this straight up in the entire season, but yeah, I mean you can kind of see it too on our mid lane. Like our mid laner, he hasn't lost. Granted, Puck is like Fathomorg's best hero, hands down, but he hasn't been like stomped like this by Fathomorg at all. Right before that, during the draft phase, we were like, and in between the interim, that was when the mental states of everybody crumbled. Right after that, because we were trying so hard, like to make this comeback, and we knew we should have won, but we lost, and yeah, we unraveled and started just flaming each other, talking about changing our strategy entirely because we were letting Herbie have this Timbersaw hero because we've beat it so many times, but we freaked out because he had like he went 19-0-16 or something crazy like that.
Buyback if they kill him. Great tornado, but that's
Winter's going. Winter's spinning. Winter's getting.
I think we're going to a game 5.
They're calling it. It's already gone. Just like that one fight and emotional damage, clutch it. Is it a reverse 3-0 or is the Cinderella story gonna end right here? I wish I could yell, but my roommate's sleeping. I want to go fucking nuts right now, but I just can't do it.
I'm going fucking nuts because I get to go eat between this game and the next. Fuck yeah, dude. Oh man, emotional damage, bringing it to game 5, finding that adjustment, right? This is not just like a 2-2, right? There's a 1-1 in group stages, but Kira Begon 2-0'd this team in upper bracket. Right, before this finals, Emo Damage had to play them, and they got 2-0'd. If this was a best of 3, that would have been it. They got 2-0'd at the start, and they made the adjustment. 2-2. Best of 5s are the weirdest shit in Dota.
After a strong victory in Game 4, Emotional Damage looked to secure the series going into Game 5.
And so we switched up our entire style. Didn't work again. I think by game 5, we kind of just weren't even playing as a team anymore.
Yeah, and that was another game where they picked for like it was a great Slaughter game, and they're like, let's pick for the Slaughter, and they picked PL, which is a great PL game too, into all this. But the problem is like Herbie's gonna own no matter what hero he gets, basically. Just because they have a carry that counters him doesn't mean they have a carry or like a hero that counters him in the game like strong enough that there's going to be a timing in which the carry can outplay the offlaner, because that's like also a really hard thing to do. But
it seemed like no matter what KYS did in Game 5, no matter how many team fights they won, how many kills they got, they could not maintain a map or a net worth advantage.
Herbie the Bird, low. Kira is chasing. The Fusel's not quite enough. 10-second cooldown on that. Flupper's there. Now comes the arena. Flashtrack getting super low. Proto Laporte. He's going to have a spike carapace, but it's just not going to do anything. Fish Chivalry. This Oracle. We'll see. The stun will kill this Treant eventually, but not before he gets out his whole quota of spells. The Winter is here. Shoves the salvo through the arena, and it's a double stun from Herbie the Bird. They're going to burn down everybody. All the cores go except for Kira, but he's on a hot to get the Oracle ultimate as well. Mars is going to try to run here. Chivalry's facing down Herbie the Bird. They're going to get crushed once, but I think the Slardar will fade.
Yo, Kira.
Fathom doesn't have any mana, though. I think this is still kind of a one fight. Here Beyond can capitalize. We'll see. Chivalry is low. The lift up. will eventually get the kill, but it's traded out. Both mids go down. Fluffer's gonna fall as well. Frodo Laporte will follow suit, I would think. Actually, maybe Fluffer's not gonna go down. I thought there was a little bit more burst, but the tick back up. I ends up healing.
With an unfortunate death on the Storm Spirit, Emo Damage had the opening they need to close out Game 5, and they did not disappoint.
To get there, Fathom has to walk, but he's got the Shivas now, right? Like, what item progress is Radiant made?
Oh,
Like,
Fitz takes one a little bit
die
too
again?
long. Do they have the stun control? They don't need it. Herbie's barely there.
Oh.
Time comes complete as emotional damage, as you said, is inflicted upon us all. Introducing your Season 34 Grand Finals champions, Emotional Damage.
Oh, and I mean, can we give MVP for the series to anyone except Herbie the Bird? He played his fucking heart out every single game. He won every lane. Win or lose, he won his lane, took his tier 1 like before 10 minutes. He's just absolute insane hero. Oh.
Oh, it was okay. Herbie's like the easy like. Herbie was by far. If Herbie wasn't in this game, this would not have gone 5 games. This would have been a 3-0 in favor of KYS, 100%. If Naya wasn't in this game, it's probably like assuming Herbie's in this game and Naya's not, it's probably a 3-1. And then with Fathom in the game, it turns the entire thing around to being KYS favored into being Emo favored. It was kind of like Herbie basically said, okay, there's a best of 5. I will guarantee that we will play near 5 games, right? And then Fathom said, I will guarantee that like 2 of these games I will single-handedly win. And again, like Fathom was kind of the unsung hero, if I remember correctly. Like obviously Winter is going to farm and Winter's going to hit creeps, but like Fathom was kind of this like this second pause one a lot of the time while also making space. And this happened a few times, and obviously like Herbie was definitely like the main star of the show because without Herbie there was never going to be a series. But without Fathom there was never going to be a game, like. And between the two of them, it was like, okay, now there's just Winter left, and I think Winter had one pretty balling game himself. But when you have like Fathom and Herbie as your other 2 cores, like Winter's the obvious, like it's again just like it's the obvious like third man out. You have like Frodo and Naya. I honestly don't think Frodo's that good of a support. I think Naya's pretty lackluster too, unless he's on like some of his weird heroes. But he makes a lot of drafts work, which is like kind of his strong suit. Is like he finds these combos that like normally you'd look at and you'd be like, that looks fucking atrocious, but then he makes them work. Such as like Enigma 5 before Enigma 5 was popular, he was playing it and like trying to draft it, and CK5 he like likes to play a lot of too. And it's just stuff that you're like, there's no fucking way this should ever work. And he'll find a way like in a draft sense that like makes it a complete draft at like for a pause 5. And the problem is that like he ends up playing with himself too much in these drafts. But the advantage is that, like, obviously the other team has no fucking clue what he's doing because it's so unconventional. But so there's definitely like a lot of moving parts here. But like by far the biggest contributor was Herbie. Like without Herbie, this is not a series. This is an absolute shit show, dude. This is not even a series.
And I applaud Herbie. That man somehow, through thick and thin, just rickrolled all game long, man, and somehow kept his team in that. Because I don't know how they were actually still in that game. I don't know how Herbie mentally stayed in there by destroying so hard every single game and somehow losing straight 2 times on Timbersaw like that. Even in the next season, they played as Barkward in that season. It is the game. They still very much play around Herbie winning his lane, playing through the mid game. He is just like a rock for that group of guys.
I don't know. We didn't really. I think we did scrim actually once before this. We never scrimmed during the regular season, and we scrimmed once before this series because we really wanted to take it seriously. Other than that, I think we just treated it like a normal series. Scrimmed once, but that's it. Yeah, I can't remember who was strictly better, but I remember being better than I remember, I remember like not struggling that much. I took like safe lane tower by 10 minutes before 10 minutes every single time. But yeah, I couldn't give you a definitive answer, to be honest. This is something that I actually still don't know. I'm still thinking about it because it's like every time I meet the Kira players in solo queue, like I actually destroy them every single time. But that's not the same as a team environment. I don't remember. Like we won one of them in group stage, and then we got 2-0'd, and then we won, and then we reverse sweeped. I don't remember. Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest. I think okay, I'm gonna be a little biased and say we're probably better. Like Silix has said to me personally that I'm a better player than Kira, but I mean that's about it, I guess. Yeah, I put my all into the series for sure. Like this was like easily the most important AD12 series I've ever played, I think.
You guys pulled off the reverse 3-0 and are grand champions for the season 34 of the Divine League.
Here's the problem: is I'm drunk like every time I do these. Anytime I do finalist, like a panelist stuff, I'm entirely intoxicated by like game 5.
Me personally, I was like, so I work out, right? So I did like a leg day before this. I had a really sick leg day, and it worked out really well. Like I was ready to play. I was physically ready. I was mentally ready.
Till my hands fucking bleed. You won't see me stop, no.